Hello and welcome to another Talkin Hearthstone, the podcast where, well, we talk about Hearthstone. I'm Tito Santana, and this is episode 6. Okay, so let's talk about Anomalies. By the time this episode airs, Anomalies will be gone. And some people love them, some people hate them. They came quickly, they've only been here a week. I enjoy the concept, honestly. And the fact that they're only a week is fine for me too. I think it adds an extra layer of planning into what we're doing, and it kind of changes things up just a little bit. You can look at it and say, oh, they're making more random stuff. But you can use that to plan for how you're going to attack things. For example, let's say you have the ability to have the first minion you play cost one less. If you are playing a minion-heavy deck, that might give you the opportunity to do certain things when you decide to plan that. So you can also look and say, okay, this might give me an advantage. Does it give me a disadvantage? Okay, I'm playing a minion-heavy deck, and the anomaly is the first spell I cast costs 1 per turn. Okay, great. That might benefit your opponent. So if that benefits your opponent, how can you maybe get around that? Or maybe how can you change your game plan to handle that? So I think it actually gives us an opportunity to try to play a little stronger. But, I mean, we can see. There's only a couple more days left. By the time you hear this, it's probably likely only got 1 day left. So, I like when they try new things, and I like when they try to spice up the game. So even if there are some things I like or don't like, I always appreciate when they try to make that effort. One of the best things I had happen, however, I did get a Haywire Ziliax down on turn 1. I won that game. So, reveal season is well under the way. We are more than, I'd say, halfway through. We got all the neutrals. We have Shaman, Death Knight, Warlock, Rogue, Paladin, and Mage. We already talked about Mage. So today we're going to talk about Rogue, and our deck today is going to be a Rogue as well. And I want to try to do that. I'm going to try to play the class that we're talking about that day, even if it's bad. So we'll see how that goes. Rogue is leaning into a lot of the stuff it normally leans into as far as generating random things and doing them with them. For example, Conniving Conman is a 4-mana 4/4 pirate. The battle cry is replay the last card you played from another class. It's a pretty good card, and in fact, there's a lot of pirates around. So, in addition to the 4 new pirates that you get with Rogue, you also have 11 new neutral pirates, and 12 if you count the Adaptive Amalgam. So I'm sure we're going to see some sort of pirate rogue out there. There seems to be a critical mass right now, so that could be a lot of fun. The non-tourist legendary is Treasure Hunter Eudora, a 6-mana 4/5 pirate. Of course, it's a pirate. With a battle cry, go on a side quest to discover an amazing loot. Play 3 cards from other classes to complete it. So this is an easy side quest to complete in Rogue, right? And the treasures are from the Kazakhstan pool. So if you're playing kind of the generation rogue, the random rogue, then it's going to fit right in there, I think. And I don't think it's going to be very hard to activate. I'm going to take a little side note real quick while we're talking about this. I know it's called Thief Rogue. I do. I hate that name for it. It's not Thief Rogue. Priest takes your stuff and beats you with it. Priest is Thief Priest. That works. Thief Rogue doesn't, because it's not taking your stuff. It's generating random stuff. You never know what it's going to generate. So I don't think we should call it Thief Rogue. And I know we're never going to change the archetype. It's too late for that. But I think it should be kind of like either like Stuff Rogue or BS Rogue or something. It fits better, I think, in what they're doing. Maybe it's just me, but it's just that little semantic thing that bothers me a little bit. But let's go ahead and get back to the review here. I'm a little surprised that Warlock doesn't have any pirates, because Maestra is the Rogue Tourist card, and this is a 6-mana 6/5 minion with a battle cry, discover a hero card from the past from another class. So lots to unpack here. Like I said, since we're touristing in Warlock, I would have expected almost maybe like a imp pirate or something like that. Unfortunately, there's nothing there. Maestra itself seems like a really fun, powerful card. It's a 6-mana 6/5, which, not great on value, but getting a hero card from the past You can discover one of three, and there's a lot of random ones. I don't think you can get the Galakron ones, but I could be wrong about that. And you obviously cannot get any of the Rogue ones. So, what you there are plenty out there, and it's going to create some incredibly annoying and also super fun game states depending on which direction you're coming from. For those that don't remember the first Maestra, we all thought it was a joke card until it wasn't, because what it would do is it would replace your hero with another hero until you played a rogue card, and then it would reveal you as, hey, I'm actually a rogue. It allowed, the way the mechanics worked, it allowed the rogue to do some crazy things with mana cheat, because while you were that other class, when you drew a card, you were technically drawing, even if you were drawing rogue cards, you were drawing rogue cards from another class. So it would count for discounting things. I think it was like a null that you could get down super early because of this, and that made it powerful. But the problem I had with it wasn't that it was powerful. It was that it made it impossible to mulligan in any game of Hearthstone you played, because you could be facing a warrior, it could be a rogue. You could be facing a priest, it could be a rogue, and it made it like very difficult, because it was prevalent enough in the meta that you saw it everywhere. So I'm kind of glad we're not doing something like that again with Maestra. But going back to the actual new card itself, the Mass Merchant, it seems fun. I don't think you're going to be able to plan around getting a particular hero or a group of heroes, because it's just going to be too random. But, I mean, the effect seems strong, and, yeah. We also have a couple of coin generators, and, you know, rogues always like coins. For example, you have a new 3-mana 2/2 weapon. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, gain a coin. This could possibly be pretty good in the early game with a weapon rogue, especially if we're running Wishing Well decks. And we also have O Manager, which is a 2-mana rogue spell. Deal 2 damage, combo, get a coin. I think that we already see a little bit of Wishing Well, but it's like a tier 3 deck. I think that we'll be seeing a little bit more of Wishing Well Rogue earlier on in the expansion. Whether it's good or not, I don't know, but just the extra coin generation there might bring us to a critical mass where we actually have enough to make it, you know, worth playing, because you're not just relying on a couple cards. You add the excavation package in there, you might be able to get the bag of coins too. There's an opportunity there. All right, so let's finish up and briefly look at the Warlock cards that the Rogue set might be interested in. You have a Health Drink, which is a 3-mana drink spell. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. Now, there's a couple good points about this for Rogue. One, you can complete Eudora's quest in 1 card. You just have to cast it 3 times. It's pretty nice. The lifesteal is always pretty good. Rogue could use a little bit of healing here and there. So I think there's opportunity here. There's also Eat the Imp, which is a 2-mana spell, destroy a friendly minion, draw 3 cards. I think Rogue always likes to have card draw. Destroy a friendly minion probably isn't that hard when you have some like low to the ground costing minions. But honestly, outside of that, I'm not seeing anything in the Warlock set, which we'll talk about soon, that I think really would play into anything obvious that Rogue is trying to do. Doesn't mean we won't see a Rogue Tourist card played very often. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at things with what's obvious, what already exists out there, and is there any obvious synergies between the new cards for Rogue and the new cards for Warlock? And I'm really not seeing it. Does it mean it's not there? No. That's where we rely on people like World 8, Jean-Bray, Warlock, Edelweiss, those kind of people that, you know, or maybe you listener, maybe you enjoy making new decks. I'm sure somebody will come up with something, and it'll probably be the most broken thing ever. But as of right now, I'm just not seeing any real synergy between the Rogue cards and the Warlock cards. All right, so now that we've talked about Rogue, let's queue up a game of Rogue. Today we are going to be playing World 8's Haywire Rogue, which is a low-to-the-ground deck that's kind of built to beat Druid. You have key cards that are Mimron, which you really want to try to generate a lot of value from, because you can get a little spark bots on it, a lot of cheap minions that draw other minions, or excuse me, generate other minions, and they all kind of work together, so you can get some really good value out of Mimron. And The other key cards you have are Scrap Heap, which generates you a lot of bots. And our real powerhouse card is the Haywire Ziliax. And what this is a 4-mana Ziliax, which deals 3 damage to yourself each turn, but it also doubles its power every turn. So you want to get that card down as quickly as possible if you have it most of the time, especially as long as you can protect it. This is basically kind of your big play, your big swing play. If they can clear it, you're probably going to lose that game. If they can't clear it, you are probably going to win that game very quickly. You're going to probably win that game very quickly more often than not, especially if you can get it down on, like, say, turn 3, and you have a little protection for it, because it's going to generate stats faster. You throw a Wind Fury bot on there, you throw a Reborn bot, you throw Divine Shield, you got stew. It's really powerful. It takes a little getting used to the deck. I started off so I've been playing this deck for 2 days now, and the first day I was something like at a 33% win rate, and kind of wondering if maybe the deck wasn't for me, but I played it for another day, and on day 2, I was like playing at a 60-70% win rate, and by the end we had finished overall with like a 52% win rate. So you mix it in the 2 days. Overall went pretty well. It takes a minute to learn this deck, so don't expect to just like plop it down and start winning in your first game unless you are very good at adapting to this kind of a deck. All right, one quick note before we get into it. We are continuing to experiment with this show, and one of the issues that we are having is I don't usually listen to the game when I'm playing, and one of the things we have an issue with is game volume. And the game volume behind us, we need the game volume because we are actually trying to cater some of this content to the sight impaired. And part of what they listen for is the game sounds, and that tells them the story of what's going on along with what we're saying. So we want to make sure we have that game sound going. The issue is finding the right balance of having game sound and me talking, which is fine. We'll figure it out. Last week I thought we had hit a nice little place where I was happy with it. I got some feedback that some people liked it, and I got some feedback that, well, while the volume was better, the problem is that the game sound would fade when I started talking, and that's because there's probably some noise gating happening somewhere to make sure that when I speak, you hear me. And that's typically a good thing when we're doing, say, something like streaming, but when we're trying to make this kind of this content where we're trying to create this audio environment where it's consistent and it tells that story, well, that's not as great as we could. So I got some advice from a few people, including Blister Guy, who's been very gracious with the advice that he's been giving me. So I think I fixed that issue. So we're going to give that a try today. So let's go ahead and play our game of Rogue and see how it goes. Let's go ahead and get into our Hearthstone mode. And, alright, so right there, the sound seems okay. And let's play a game of Rogue. I really have enjoyed this deck. It took a minute, and I kind of was stubborn about switching away from it because I know that there's success there, especially in the current meta, and I was losing the Druid, the deck that I was supposed to be beating. I was horrible against it. And then yesterday I was something like 10-2. So I'm glad I stuck with it. Alright, so ideally we're facing a Druid, someone named Moon. Our Anomaly is Opportunity Knocks. The first card drawn on a player's turn is one that they can play, which we like. A new song begins. Time to slice and dice. Okay, so our initial draw is from the Scrap Heap, Ziliax, from the Scrap Heap, and Preparation. I am keeping all of this. This is either going to go spectacularly well or horribly bad, and I'm here for both. Our opponent plays a Magical Dollhouse on turn 1. And on turn... we just drew another Preparation. So I'm going to prep from the Scrap Heap. I'm going to hold prep on the other Scrap Heap because if I I don't want to fill up my hand too much, and we're going to be able to take, get it for free anyway. So I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass the turn here. So now here comes the question. So we generated a stealth bot, a rush bot, and a stealth bot. So even though I can get my Ziliax down on turn 3, I think I wait for turn 4, where I can then generate, I'll put a stealth on it. So we just drew a drone reconstructor. Our opponent previously just hero powered into our face, so nothing really happened in there. So we're going to play our drone deconstructor. And we drew a lifesteal bot. I think we can just wait here, so we're just going to pass this turn here. It's looking like we're doing nothing. Maybe I'm being too passive, and this is one of those things where I'm now setting up for what I can see is going to be a powerful turn. Our opponent just played Malfurion's Gift into Wild Growth. So we now just generated Spider, which is the 3-mana, 3/4 magnetic stealth for 1 turn. I'm going to play this on the bot we already have out, the drone deconstructor, and I'm going to swing for 4/6. Because I want to get some stuff out of my hand a little bit, but I also want to maybe give them something, a threat to deal with. They play Take to the Skies, which is draw dragons, give them +1/+1. They play a gift wrap. Well, alright, so we can do a couple different things. We just drew a tiny world breaker. We have 9 cards, so we have 8. So I can actually prep. We're gonna do something this turn. So I'm gonna coin prep from the scrap heap. Now we just we have nothing but stealth minions. We have all stealth. We have 5 stealth bots with us right now. So I am going to play the Ziliax 3000. I'm going to drop a stealth on him or her, and I'm going to swing with the 4/6 into the face.
Job's done.
They are now at 23 health with a dollhouse and a 4/3 gift wrap. Well, we have a 4/6 minion, a 6/8 stealth minion that's going to become a 12/8 soon, and we're down to 26 health. Now, unfortunately, we did not generate any Wind Fury, but that's okay. So they just played a Doomkin, which pushed us down to 4. And that's the beauty of this deck, is that we really don't care. So I'm going to play a Lifesteal Spark Bart on my Ziliax. I'm going to play a Rush Minion on it as well. So 14, 18, 19, 20. We can't get there this turn, but what we can do is we can swing with both minions, and then I can stealth them both. No, now when we do 3 damage to us, we actually heal ourselves because we have the lifesteal minion.
I can't win them all.
And that's how you beat Druid. They saw that there was no coming back from that. They don't have the kind of removal in their deck that can handle stealth minions or particularly tall minions. They have the swipes, they have the hero power, but this one is just a good deck. That brings us to Diamond 3 and 2 stars. I'm going to play one more game of this since that went very quickly. Hopefully this next one goes just as quickly. And hopefully our audio is okay where I don't have to re-record this. So we're finding an opponent again. I have to work on things when I'm sitting at my desk and streaming. It's one thing to walk to work. It's another thing to sit and not work, I guess.
Maiev versus Malfurion.
Alright, so we have drawn another Druid opponent. This is whenever a player turns ends with unspent mana, they gain a coin.
I must protect the wild.
None can escape my fury.
We have picked up Spider, Miracle Salesman, and a Noatron. I don't think I've spoken much about the mulligan, so it's good that we've played a second game. Your mulligan is you are looking for 1-drops, you are looking for from the scrap heap, and you're looking from for Ziliax. If you are facing a known slow matchup, like maybe a warrior, you can possibly keep Mimron, I'm sorry. but for the most part, you don't want to deviate from this plan. It's when you start, for me anyway, when I start thinking that I really know what I'm doing and I understand the deck and I start getting cute with my plays, it's when I start to kind of I start to fall a little further. So our mulligan gave us Mimron and the Crystal Cove, and we just drew it from the scrap heap. So we're not where we want to be, but this is fine. We're going to run a Miracle Salesman out. You can almost never do wrong with playing a 1-mana 2/2 on turn 1. They're playing a Cactus Construct. Now, the worst thing for us is like a Trapdoor Spider, but we can work around that. Alright, so they generated a Wind-Up Sapling. We just grew a Pit Stop, so I don't hate playing Pit Stop here and looking for our Zodiacs. We picked up a Frequency Oscillator, a Tiny World Breaker, and an Inventomatic. Inventomatic is probably pretty good here because we do have From the Scrap Heap. So let's take the Inventomatic. And we're gonna swing face here. Now, one thing to know, and I didn't realize this initially, is From the Cove says the next minion you summon this turn set its stats to 5/5. That works on Magnetic. So if you magnetize a 1/1 bot, you're going to get a 5/5 bot if you've Crystal Coved. Alright, so this is where it gets a little complicated. I'm going to Mimron here. And I'm going to clear the 1/1. So I cleared the 1/1 because I would be susceptible to a for them running into us with the 1/1 and then swiping. They're instead playing Malfurion's Gift and Wild Growth, which actually works out very well for us, I think. We're hoping for a prep now. Alright, so we got another Crystal Cove. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, from the Scrap Heap, and see what minis we get. We get Poisonous, Divine Shield, and Poisonous. So I'm going to start playing it with the Frequency Oscillator since we're going to get a free minion off of that. And that gives us, the next card you play costs 2 less. Alright, so I'm going to play the Inventomatic.
Twist this, tighten that, and boom, over
And that
there.
generates another Mimron's Coolant, which is great for us. So we're going to play Mimron's Coolant, and we're going to put a Divine Shield on Mimron. And that generates us a +3 stealth. The 1 mana, give your minion +3 attack. It gains stealth until next turn. We're going to play Mimron's Coolant again. And I'm going to add another Poison Bot. This time I'm going to add it to the Inventomatic. Kind of spread things out a little bit.
Quickly.
And we generated a Mimron's Cloakfield, another one, which is really nice for us. We're going to go damage for 6 to face. So they are at 22, we are at 29, and we have just won yet another game. So as you can see, if you are seeing lots of rules, this might be the deck for you. It's been the deck for me. And like I said, it takes a minute. So if you're at a place where you're like almost at that rank floor, probably, I mean, if you're about to crest to the next rank floor, maybe don't pick this up yet. But if you're at like the D5 floor or the gold 10 floor or whatever it might be, pick it up, learn it. If you have questions, reach out to Ask Me, or better yet, reach out to World 8. He loves to talk about this kind of stuff. This is his deck. You know, that was a lot of fun. I like winning, and I like winning quickly. So, that brings us to kind of the end of things for today. So, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at Tito Santana HS. As always, I want to thank Ben Heastone. We use his graphics that he generates for the cards that we're looking at. I'm not the only one to do so. Most other podcasts seem to do so, but we appreciate all the work he does there. And to everybody that's been giving me support and feedback, I appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun. This is starting to come together. Again, we're going to have episodes every Tuesday as far as secondary episodes. I'm not sure when. This is coming out Sunday. I'm hoping to do a little bit more, but it all depends on how things goes. But I guess I'm done talking. Have a great day.